Gently opening our eyes and come up standing this morning. We will do a little movement through the chakras in preparation of Nirmala's talk. So we will start with our first chakra by just having our feet hip width apart. You won't see my feet. This is a little setup here. Arms by your side, they are fully relaxed. And I want you to come up onto your toes on the inhalation. Exhale, drop back down onto your heels. Inhale up, exhale down. Inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. Inhale nose, exhale open mouth. The Kundalini energy is our creative force. Yeah? It originates at the base of our spine. By just simply doing this movement, it's like as if you awaken the Kundalini. You're starting to increase your circulation. The 5 brain waves get activated. Last 3 times. Good, just stand still for a moment. Bring your feet a little further apart. You can have your toes facing a little bit outward or just straight forward, whatever works best for your knees. Yeah, you need to feel that your knees are safe. In my case, I like to have my feet forward. Yeah, on the inhalation, I bring my arms forward parallel and I squat down halfway. Exhale, I come up, I push my hands really back, I open my chest. Inhale, exhale. Inhale into the squat, exhale up, bring your arms back, open your heart center, connect your first energy center with your heart. We are pushing the Kundalini upward so that we have that creative force available in all our energy centers today. Just go down as far as you can. Last 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Just stay your palms facing forward, long deep breath. Inhale nose, exhale open mouth. Tune into the soles of your feet right now, into your legs, and observe your stand. We're moving upwards, we're bringing our hands around our waist. So just bring your hips, both of them, to the left, and then forward to the right, back. Keep your torso up. Look forward so that you're not moving your torso, just your hips. You can bring your feet further apart if that's supportive. Stimulating the water within us, becoming more fluid. First we did the earth, now the water. Hip joint is crucial for our brain health. So we're moving the hips not only just for the lower triangle, but also for the upper one. Good. Reverse the direction. Big hip rotations. And this is a very easy, simple set through the chakras. You can always modify, decrease timing, repetition, but just consciously awaken these energy centers within you, make the difference. Good, last 3 rotations here. And then we come to center. So with the next one, I just want to make sure if you have a lower back injury, you definitely want to do the next movement with your knees bent to protect yourself. We bring our arms up, the palms facing upward, and then we just exhale. We pull the navel towards the spine and we bring our hands towards the ground, arms hugging the ears. Inhale up, exhale, fold forward and down. Go at your own pace, bend the knees if there's a sensitivity there. What you're activating right now is the spinal fluid, and you work your digestive area by really squeezing the navel towards your spine. On the exhale, going down. Stimulating the fire within you. Last 10, if you can. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Last one. Inhale up, exhale, sweep through your auric field. Take 3 deep breaths here. Inhale, nose, exhale, open mouth. So first, second, third is activated. Now we go into the heart, bringing our arms forward. Inhale, keep your arms parallel and far back as you can. Exhale, forward. Inhale, spread your wings. You want to feel how the shoulder blades moving towards each other and back. Here, in and exhale only through the nose. Last 11. 1, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Last one. Good. And just keep the arms out to the side, palms facing forward. Inhale deeply. Exhale, open mouth. And the arms a little further away, back. One more time. And arms are coming down. And now move your shoulders up towards your ears. Exhale, let them drop down. And we do this rapidly. Like last 10. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Good. Just relax for a moment. Inhale, nose, exhale, open mouth. I like to activate, you open our eyes, I like to activate the third eye, the sixth chakra, always with the tree pose. So if that's too much for your balance center, you can hold on to a wall or a chair, whatever is convenient. And then you take the outer leg up. You will have your outer hand in front of your heart center. If you can, you have both hands here. Keep them just in front of your heart center this morning. Long, deep breathing. Have a gentle gaze towards the floor. Find a spot where you can just stay balanced. I like this a lot for the third eye and the sixth chakra because I need to pull now the energy from the base all the way up to make this posture possible. Last 3 breaths. And then your palms moving down. Your outer leg comes down. Just take a moment, close your eyes here. Feel into your right side and into your left or opposite, whichever leg you work. And then you, sure enough, bring up the other foot. And there needs to be a connection and coherence with all the centers below to make this posture possible. Last deep breath. Palms moving down towards the earth. That foot comes down, palms facing now forward. We're closing our eyes and we just feel into our body. Beautiful. Last one, we come sitting. All of us, you can sit on the chair, whichever way is convenient and comfortable for you. So Britt Marie, I don't think you should do the next one. So you just envision it, because we bring our arms overhead, we interlace the fingers. It could be hard on the wrist for Britt Marie. Here you make sure the tip of your thumbs are touching, they're pointing backward. You just bring your hands 4 to 6 inches above your head. And I want you to do the breath of fire. Yeah, equal in an exhale through the nostril rapidly, as if you put air into the fireplace. Women on their moon cycle stay with long, deep breathing. Just for 1 minute. Have your mental focus on your crown chakra. Bringing the energy to the place within us that is the opening for the divine. We're taking a deep inhalation. We're suspending now our breath. We pull our perineum, sex organ and navel in and up, pulling the energy from the base through our spine, the back of our neck and head, up to the top, holding our breath a little longer. And then we exhale slowly, we're separating our hands, palms, facing upward, hands are resting on our knees. We are ready for Nirmala.
Thank you, Siddhi. Hello, ladies. Welcome. I apologize for this internet connection. I'm still at the ashram, and today I'm on a different Wi-Fi, which is a little underwhelming. But anyway, I'm here, so that's good. So let's see, a couple of things I want to mention, and then we will get on to our topic of the day. The first is that I really want to thank each of you who have offered your suggestions for our nonprofit donations. Dawn, Lishan, Clea, Laurel, several others of you have given us suggestions, and it's just been so nice to hear what you're inspired by, and this totally taps into what we're going to talk about today. And I'm going to put in our chat section the page to our website, the Shared Wisdom website, that shows the nonprofit donations that we've made, the different groups that we're involved in. And I'm just really in deep gratitude for your suggestions, because they're exposing me to new groups that are doing such beautiful work in the world. I continue to be just so inspired by how many people are out in the world gathering like-minded souls together and doing good. You know, we hear so much about all the negative things that are happening in the world, but there are many, many, many people who have devoted their lives and their families' lives and their intentions to bringing good and helping others. So it's just really fun to see some of those things that we're supporting. And please continue to send your ideas and what you're passionate about and where you're putting your attention. That's really nice for us to be able to share together as part of our community. What else do I want to say? I think there were possibly a couple of new people, but I don't see them on here, so I don't think they've made it today. So we don't need to speak to that. So we can get to our topic. Today, thank you, Siddhi, for that beautiful integration of our chakras and our energy center and our flow. The chakras are the meridians or the center points where the energy flow that goes through our body connects into sort of hubs. And those hubs have more intense experiences associated with them. But this beautiful pathway of energy system throughout our body is active. It's like the capillaries of our blood vessels and the way that we transport our nutrition and our oxygen throughout our system. Also, we have that on the energetic level, and the energy of us tending to that, clearing it out, activating it, spending time with that is so important in our, as we look to integrate ourselves, as we look to show up in the world as 100% of who we are. We have to have all of these centers activated. When one is not activated, then the energy gets stuck there. And that's why we do different processes in the chanting and acupuncture and yoga and meditation, and all of these tools are in the tending of how to keep our system as clear and clean as possible so that we have access to this flow of energy. It's like a dam. If we dam up one of our energy centers in our body, one of the chakras, we don't let the water flow through. It's the same thing with our energy. And if the energy gets blocked at a lower energy center, you're just depleting how much energy can move up through your system. We want that flow to be like a faucet that's just been opened on whole, like a fire hydrant that's just through you, because that is where we find the flow and connectedness to all that is around us, because we're just energy ultimately. So today we're going to expand that a little bit. This week I was inspired by just some conversations that I had and some musings that I had, and I wanted to share them with you from a little bit different perspective. So I know that Angela, I think she's on this call, darling Angela, has a new, I think she posted on our WhatsApp, a new workshop or program, excuse me, that you can participate in around manifesting. And manifesting is such a huge topic in the spiritual world. And so I want to talk kind of in the back door of that, not specifically about manifesting, but that's a word that can help us to associate with what I want to share today. So what I'd like to share is a term that I'm calling creative consciousness. And this is the place from where manifestation, for me, as I understand it, most easily occurs. So first, I'd like to share what I mean by manifestation. I'm not talking about the typical where we say, this is not unimportant, but this is not what I'm talking about, where we might say, I'd like to manifest a particular situation or a relationship or fill in the blank. I'd like a specific thing to happen, occur, unveil itself in my life. I'm talking about a different type of manifesting. There's a teaching in one of the wisdom teachings that says that when we're going into prayer, before we pray, in the beginning of our prayer, before we ask for something, we actually supplicate ourselves and we make ourselves humble, because we're entering into a relationship between ourselves and the divine, and then secondarily with our request. So first, we want to be in relationship with what it is we're really asking for. And so I think that it is incumbent upon us to be spending a little time looking at, what am I manifesting out of my mindset of what I think I want, or what the culture says I want, or what my spouse says I want, or what my fears say I want, or am I manifesting out of my surrender? Those are two different ways of manifesting. And creative consciousness is about using creativity as a portal to going through our surrendering to that which is inspiring us. Because in that surrender is information about who we truly are. Often in our manifesting, we manifest what we think we want to be, because somewhere in our belief system, we think, well, I'll be happier if I manifest this. We may be, but it's not the same as manifesting out of surrender, where we're surrendering to that which is the flow for us, our truest essence of who we are first. First, we figure that out, then we manifest from there, versus starting with what it is I want outside, bringing it in, hoping it will illuminate me. That's going backwards to me. First, I have to know from where I'm illuminating, what is coming up in me, and then how does that manifest in this alignment with the universe. I surrender to what comes through that portal. That's a little bit different. So what I really want for us to think about today is, in our relationship with self, how aware in conscious creative consciousness, I have to be extremely aware about what is inspiring me. What are my passions? Where am I yearning for something? Where does something very subtly come up for me again and again and again that I think, ooh, I wish I knew more about that. I wish I had experienced more of that. I would really like to understand that differently. I'd really like to play with that. This is about passion, interest, yearning, playing, stirring. This is about not a tactile, but a feeling that comes up in you when you go to a beautiful concert and you think, God, I would really like to practice singing. I'd like to play with my voice. I've never done that. I don't think I have a good voice. This is not about being good or achieving something. This is about experiencing another way of being creative that is a portal for you. The more we receive these messages, this is why we integrate our system, so that the messages that are coming through us are very easy to read. Otherwise, they can be so subtle that it's hard for us to even know what it is that we really are maybe hankering for or desiring on a different level than an external desire. It's an internal desire. So the more that we explore these creative expressions and we align ourselves with our truest nature, the more we make contact with our divine nature, which is our ultimate aim, is to integrate our divine nature and our the human physicality of our nature together. How do we become that integration? So as we start being more receptive to and reading the possibilities of what it is that is sort of sparking an interest in us, the more that we start to make connection with our truest nature, which is the place where we experience joy, freedom, possibility. So we're talking about the fragrance of joy. The fragrance of joy is us having an expanded nature to be able to pull in all sorts of experiences that we then surrender to. And we don't say, well, I can't be good at that, or that takes up too much time, or that's just another thing to do. If we're listening clearly, then we actually have a sense of experiencing something that is part of our nature. It's not just that we're doing another thing. It's not that simple. It's much more integrated into our system. It's part of the fiber of who we are. So if you're yearning to learn another language, or you're yearning to learn how to sing, or you're yearning to paint a little bit, there's something that's coming through you that's saying this is a pathway for you to integrate yourself. It's not the end. We're not looking at the end result. We're looking at the process. And in our life, too often, we decide the pathways based on an intellectual mindset versus what's our true nature. So we need to explore our secret yearnings, the risings that come up in our heart. These are the places of our creative awareness. Out of creative awareness comes movement, and out of movement comes manifestation. We manifest out of movement from the truest source. We don't manifest from the mind. We can manifest from the mind, but that's a different level of manifesting. The manifesting of our true nature comes from the inside out, not from the mind into the world. When our awareness is tethered to the inner truth of who we are, our alignment with life is heightened. We start to feel a higher resonance with all of life. And this resonance is a place of expansion. So our nature is, by nature, we are longing to expand, whether it's an internal expansion or an external expansion. The nature of this being, because we know on some level, this system knows that ultimately its expansion is infinite, that we will expand into the infinite. We are always craving that experience. And when expansion stops, we become restless. You can become depressed, unmotivated, bored. Those are all qualities when we stop feeling expanded, when we pull in from being able to blossom, when we stop the growth. It's like a plant. It just got to where it's blossoming with this beautiful flower, and we just say, no, you can't blossom. We're blossoming plants. And we're craving coming into the sun and opening up with our fullness. It is much more difficult to manifest out of boredom or fear or anxiety or out of grasping, a big Buddhist concept. When we're grasping at something that we want so badly, it's very hard to manifest it. Manifesting is much easier coming out of a place of alignment with what is intended for our experience in this embodied form. Because then we're actually collaborating with all the forces that are around us, not just what's happening with us, but we become in alignment with the other forces. This is an inspired space that is one of expansion and exploration. It's not one of containment. So when we start to look at how it is that we want to blow out the walls in our life, we want to blow out the old constraints, the old structures, the old mindsets. This is what we're doing when we're looking at how to align with our truest sense of who we are. That may not be predicated on the truth. It may be a mindset. We have to break out of that so that we can be in the flow of what is actually the truth for us. When we manifest from this place, we have a manifestation of right timing, inspired solutions, collaborative endeavors. There's an ease of movement that happens, not always an ease of life, but an ease of movement. When we're in that flow, creative consciousness is creation, it's birth, it's unspoken possibilities. And in that, we have a place where synchronicity naturally aligns. So when you see your life in a sense, in the synchronicity of who you run into or what things come up, and you are in awareness enough to notice them, you start to see that I'm in a flow, and this flow is aligned with what naturally wants to come through me and happen around me. There's a deeper sense of ease that's happening. And what we manifest comes from a place of collaboration with the universe versus a place of power. We know we are powerful, but being powerful outside of what is naturally intended to be so in your life has a certain, requires a certain forcefulness. And we're talking about ease. We're talking about surrender and then capturing all of the possibility that comes out of surrender. That's a different kind of manifestation. So I want you to think a little bit this next week about what is it that is jolting me in my life that I'd like to try. You are all terribly creative. If I had you put in the chat section the kinds of things you do that are creative, there would be endless lists between writing and cooking and sewing and singing and making plant medicine, and it goes on and on and on. You guys are amazing already. But what I'm asking for is for you to look a little deeper. Is there something or some things that you have not yet incorporated into your life that may be portals for you to continue to integrate and become in alignment with this collaborative experience and relationship that you have with the life that is conscious? It's creative consciousness, because it's through creativity that we touch all these places in ourselves. Creative is a very big word. You can be creative by being a peacemaker in your community and in your family, and you can be creative by cooking, and you can be creative by attending to people who are in need. There are many ways to be creative. It doesn't have to be artistic, but it might be. But where are places where you would like to, just for the fun of it, explore yourself through them and use them as portals? And take something up this week. Figure out something you would like to add to your life, something you would like to add that is not just some people will say, well, this is just another thing to do. You keep giving us these lists. There are these micro practices and meditations and chanting, and oh my God, how are we going to do all this? This is not an outside list coming inside. This is something inside that's yearning to come outside that you may or may not have touched. So we're not adding anything to your internal structure of what you want to experience. We're asking you to find place for it in your external expression. Portals. We're looking for portals that take us to a different experience. And portals can be tools, they can be different practices, they can be individuals, relationships, there are all sorts of things. But when we're in awareness, we're aware that the portal is a portal, and then we experience it in a different way. We're aligning ourselves with who we are in our deepest sense. And what does this spirit want to experience in this lifetime? Just for the joy of it. What are you doing in your life just for the joy of it? What activity? What relationship? What movement? It might be you and nature. What are you doing simply for the joy of the experience? Because somewhere when you have that experience and you finish it, you have a sense that goes through you that is, you can't describe it exactly, but you know it. You finish doing it and you go, wow, that was really good. I really like that. Those are the things that we need to use to get into this alignment. And when we're in this alignment, then manifesting on all different levels becomes quite simple for us, because we are in alignment with that which is intended and that which works. We're not going against the flow. So that's what I'd like you to do this week. Now we're going to go on. I think City's signaling me. There's more to say, but we're going to do our chanting. This is our last week. We did we've had 40 days of chanting our group chant, Om Mani Padme Om. And we invite you, after we chant today, to continue it daily or weekly. We will do it sporadically in our group, but we won't be doing it every single week. It's very easy to finish our time together and to simply stay seated where you are and start it on your phone. We've given you the links to the different chanting possibilities so that you can continue it. It's a really powerful prayer chant. It's another portal, and let's do it together today. And then let's just see how we can continue it into our daily or weekly discipline.
Beautiful, thank you. I like for us to use the mudra to deepen our trust, because our creativity, comes especially from our second energy center, and we need to trust that. So we interlace our fingers. The fingers are outside, and then the thumbs are extended, and we just place it here very sweetly onto our chest. Very solid mudra.
Padme Hum, Mani Padme Hum, Om Mani Padme Hum, Om Mani Padme Hum, Om Mani Padme Hum, Mani Padme Hum, Om Mani Padme Hum, Om Mani Padme Hum, Om Mani Padme Hum, Mani Padme Hum, Om Mani Padme Hum, Om Mani Padme Hum, Om Mani Padme Hum, Mani Padme Hum, Om Mani Padme Hum, Om Mani Padme Hum, Om Mani Padme Hum, Mani Padme Hum, Om Mani Padme Hum, Om Mani Padme Hum, Om Mani Padme Hum, Mani Padme Hum, Om Mani Padme Hum, Om Mani Padme Hum, Om Mani Padme Hum, Mani Padme Hum, Om Mani Padme Hum, Om Mani Padme Hum, Om Mani Padme Hum, Mani Padme Hum, Om Mani Padme Hum, Om Mani Padme Hum, Om Mani Padme Hum, Mani Padme Hum, Om Mani Padme Hum, Om Mani Padme Hum, Om Mani Padme Hum, Mani Padme Hum, Om Mani Padme Hum, Om Mani Padme Hum, Om Mani Padme Hum, Mani Padme Hum, Om Mani Padme Hum, Om Mani Padme Hum, Om Mani Padme Hum, Mani Padme Hum, Om Mani Padme Hum, Om Mani Padme Hum, Om Mani Padme Hum, Mani Padme Hum, Om Mani Padme Hum, Om Mani Padme Hum, Om Mani Padme Hum, Mani Padme Hum, Om Mani Padme Hum, Om Mani Padme Hum, Om Mani Padme Hum, 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 Mani Padme Hum, Padme Hum, Mani Padme Hum, Om Mani Padme Hum, Om Mani Padme Hum, Om Mani Padme Hum, Mani Padme Hum, Om Mani Padme Hum, Om Mani Padme Hum, Om Mani Padme Hum.
Bringing our hands into prayer pose. Bowing towards our heart center. In gratitude for living in peace and at peace. And with Om Shanti Shanti Shanti, spreading this fragrance to all those who really are in need for peace. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Thank you all. Have a beautiful week. See you next week.